Good morning, guys. And today's topic is first topic is the software quality assurance. This is also one of the interview question SQA. Okay, software quality assurance. Okay, so what is meant by software quality assurance? It is nothing but the communication between the business analyst and the client. Okay, because we know that the first person or the first mediator between the client and the company, the development team, is the business analyst. Okay, so whatever communication will be there between the business analyst and the client is called as software quality assurance. Okay, and there are some stages involved in the software quality assurance. uh, they are first of all be under the software quality assurance. Why we are doing the software quality assurance, what will be the discussion between the business analyst and the client. Okay, so to meet the customer requirement, in this ways we will see that what kind of requirements are there in the from the client side. Okay, there will be a discussion between the business analyst and the client, what is their requirement. For example, if it is a banking domain or the like Paytm like application. Okay, so what all are the requirement from the client, will take that. The business analyst will take that, he will create the document. Okay, so what kind of document he will create, we'll see that in detail. Okay, so next point, the next discussion under the software quality assurance will be the customer expectation. Okay, so expectation means requirement. We already understood requirements, what all are the requirement from the client, that will be noted down by our business analyst. Now after taking the requirement, obviously there are some expectation from client side, what kind of level, at what level the security he need, and some additional functionality, the advanced functionality if he need in the application. Okay, like OTP should be there before every transaction, there should be a OTP. Okay, so these kind of security things in the banking application we can see that. So these are the expectation from the client. Okay, so these kind of expectation will be noted down. Okay, that is called as to meet the customer expectation. Next one is the time period. In the in this point or in this phase, our business analyst will discuss with the client how much time it will take require to develop the project. Okay, so like time period, might be possible it will take 6 months, 1 year. Okay, but business analyst, first of all, he will take the requirement, he will discuss with development team manager, and after that only they will discuss with the client. Okay, they will decide how much time it will take. Costing. Next one is the costing. So how much cost a company will charge to the client. Okay, how much cost will be there for development, develop the project. Okay, and how they are miss client, how they are going to release the payment to the company. If as a development company we are releasing first phase, okay, according to the contract. Okay, how much payment our client they are going to release after releasing the first module. Okay, so these kind of discussion will be there in the cost. Maintenance. So if the uh, software needs some maintenance, so if as a development company, if according to the contract we are ready to provide a maintenance for next 1 year, that is the part of contract. After that, if the client side they need the maintenance, we are going to charge for that. Okay, so that will be the next discussion under maintenance. And the escalation. Escalation means whatever is the client expectation or the requirement, if you are not meeting that, okay, then uh, the client side they will raise the escalation, and according to the contract, might be possible that there will be some penalties on our company as a development company. According to the contract, if uh, obviously if there are any big issues, big escalations are there, then the client they can they cannot afford those things. Okay, it will affect on their revenue sometimes. If you are talking about the banking application, obviously there should not be any bug or issue. Okay, otherwise it will directly affect the money. So in such kind of things, if there is any escalation, then there will be a penalty. Okay, so this discussion is in between business analyst and the client. So that is called as quality software quality assurance. Okay, so if someone asks you, tell me what is meant by software quality assurance, so you have to cover these points. Okay, so one second. SQA is communication between the client and business analyst. Okay, about what? About project, or we can say software. Sorry. So, which are the things uh, will be there under the software quality assurance? First one is the to meet the customer requirement, to meet the customer expectation, time period, cost, maintenance, escalation. Okay, so one second. Okay, next point. This point we have to write in deep to meet the customer requirement. So what kind of requirements are there from the client side? In this stage, I'm writing business analyst, in short, that is BA. BA discuss about the project requirement with client. Okay, that is which type of, now do means what kind of application we are going to create. Is it a banking domain? Is it a healthcare domain? Okay, a telecommunication domain. So we are, first of all, the discussion will be there about the domain. What kind of type of domain client requires So example, so in interview they can ask you for which domain you are working currently. Okay, most of the times in market, they will prefer to hire those people who are from the same domain. Okay, if you are working for healthcare domain, okay, or the banking domain, and they are also their client or their the company is also hiring for the project which is from the banking domain, so they will prefer for your profile. So whatever project we are going to show on your resume, okay, if it is related to the banking or the telecommunication healthcare, so such kind of calls you will receive from the company and they will prefer your profile. Okay, so banking domain, telecommunication, healthcare. So for in first discussion, the business analyst will discuss what kind of requirements are there and in which domain we are going to develop the project. Okay. Then to meet the customer expectation. Okay. So obviously he is paying some a huge amount to the company. So customer is having some expectation. Uh, Okay. So in this stage, there will be discussion about performance and privacy. Performance means, we can take an example of IRCTC. How many people are visiting at a time? Okay, then also website is running very fine. Okay, there is no latency. The website is not taking more time to load. Okay, so the performance should be very fine. This kind and the it should be secure. Okay, if we are talking about the banking application, mm, nowadays in most of the website or the application, before paying or any transaction, the security should be there. So this is the normal nowadays. Okay, to meet the customer requirement, to meet the customer expectation. Then next one is the time period, how much time it will take to develop the project. Okay, if the discussion is about phase wise, we are going to release the project, then according to that, the discussion will go on. Okay, so about the time period. Next one is the costing. Developing the project or software. Next one is maintenance. See guys, these are very important point. At this point, if you're thinking that these are very basic things, but in interview you are going to face this question. Okay, so at that time if you are not able to explain, you knows the phases. Okay, but you are not able to explain what exactly we are going to do in these phases, okay, then it is not good. Okay, these are very basic thing, and we should have some explanation for every point. Okay, in maintenance, in this stage, there will be discussion that how we are going to provide or client require maintenance of project from us. Okay, so if it is a banking application, then definitely it will require some maintenance. Okay, and under maintenance, what will come? As we discussed, the BPO and KPO will come. BPO will provide support for non-technical issues. Next one is the KPO will provide a support for technical issues. Okay, so this is the difference and it is the part of maintenance. Next one is the escalation. Last one is the escalation. We'll move for the next topic. So if any issues or escalation are coming, then there will be a penalty on our company. So if company does not meet the client expectation, they are taking very miss. That is the reason, if we are talking about the IRCTC or any bank like SBI, they are not going to take any risk by giving their project to the new company. This is the reason they are giving this project to the well-known company like Infosys, TCS, because they cannot take any risk with their application. Okay, and these companies are charging very high, but it is okay, there will be no issue, the trust will be there. Okay, and after that also, if the company or the project is not meeting the expectation, then there will be a penalty. Okay, and that is the part of contract. Then company has to pay a fine or penalty. So this is about the software quality assurance. Okay, or and this one is the one of the interview question, definitely you will face in one of your interview, you will face the software quality assurance interview question. Okay, now we'll start about the software development life cycle. This is very important. Like there are some modules we are going to um, cover. Okay, in methodologies. So software development life cycle, two questions are mandatory in your every interview. Tell me software development life cycle, and another question is software SDLC, software test life cycle. So first of all, we'll try to cover the software development life cycle. Okay, we'll understand what all are the stages will come under the software development life cycle, and in every module we are going to use the same kind of software development life cycle. So SDLC question will be there in every interview, whether you are attending for the manual or the automation, it will, you will face this question everywhere. Okay, so software development life cycle means it is one of the methodology to develop the software. Okay, and it defines how the software is going to develop. to create. Okay, so there are some stages. First of all, we are going to, our business analyst will take the will gather the information from the client. Okay, then he will create the documents for that. Okay, not verbally. uh, he will create the document whatever requirement as it is. He will create the document. He And the next stage is the analysis. Okay, then business analyst is responsible for analyzing those requirement from the client. So in first stage, he is taking the information. The business analyst is creating the rough document that is called as BRS. Okay, so uh, BRS means business requirement specification. It is the rough document where our business analyst is writing the rough requirement. Then he will convert that. First of all, he will analyze the requirement. Then he will convert that into the uh, another document where the um, those documents will come to the our development team. So that is not a rough document. He will convert that rough document into the real document. So that document is called as SRS, System Requirement Specification. Okay, or sometimes we can say as a functional requirement application. Okay, next stage is the designing. So when document will come to our development team, first team is the UI developer or the designer. Okay, so they will design according to the requirement. Okay, and our designing team will develop the design, and then the next one is the development team, the coding team. Okay, so the backend team will write the codes for every function, and then it will come to the testing team. We'll test the application, and then at last we'll deploy, and there will be a maintenance. So these are the stages under the SDLC, and we cannot skip any stage anywhere. Not in the answer, but in company also, as it is, we are following everywhere. Okay, so what is SDLC? Software Development Life Cycle. So it is a methodology with clearly defined process for creating highly quality software. Clearly defined means there will be some accurate documentation for everything. Okay, nothing is verbally. For everything there will be a documentation. Okay, that is called as clearly defined process. Okay, and to create the quality software, right? So there are 6 stages under SDLC. So we should not get confused between SDLC and STLC. They can ask you the tell me the difference between SDLC. So in that case, we cannot explain the differences, but we can explain separately what is meant by SDLC, what all are the stages under SDLC, and then what is meant by STLC and what all are the stages under STLC. So first of all, our business analysis taking information, that is called as information gathering. Then he is only responsible for analyzing those requirement. So that is called as analysis. Next phase is the design. So whatever fair document coming from the business analyst, that is called as SRS. So information gathering will create the BRS. We'll say that in analysis he will create the SRS, that is the fair document. From the rough document he will convert that into the fair document. In design phase, our designer or the UI developer will design according to the requirement. Then uh, the development team is there, that is the backend developer, we can say as a coder. Okay, then testing team will come, we'll test the application, and at last maintenance. So as it is, you have to answer there. These are the 6 stages everywhere. Okay, we cannot skip any. We cannot design anything without the fair document, right? We our coding team, they can develop the code without design also. But after that, definitely we have to merge that. We have to integrate the merging means we have to integrate the design and the development code. Then only everything will work. Okay, testing team can test only and only whenever it is designed and developed from our client side, sorry, from our development team. Okay, without that, testing team cannot do anything. And at last, once we deploy or release our product, then if client needed, then maintenance team will be there. Okay, so one by one in detail we'll see what exactly will be there in the information gathering. So in interview, if you are facing this question, explain the SDLC. If it is taking 15 minutes, also interviewer is ready to give you 15 minutes because he knows that it will take time. Okay, and many things are there under SDLC. Okay, so BA is responsible for information gathering, right? Then BA will gather, he will gather the information and he will convert it, create the some rough document. BA will gather the requirement from whom? From client. That which type of domain, functionality, privacy means security, what kind of security they need. Okay, and how much performance should be there, how much fast our application should be there, that is called as performance. So performance tester will be there in every company, not only the manual tester or the automation tester. There is another post for the performance tester. Their task is just to check the performance of the application. Then in information gathering, what will gather? The business analyst. Okay, he will prepare. So BA will prepare the one document which is called as BRS. You have to remember this. Business requirement specification. This is the rough document. Okay, it is not fair. Okay, like it is a overview of the project. He will just take the overview, what kind of domain, what kind of privacy they need, and the functionality needed for the software. Okay, so this is only the rough document overview of the project. Okay, then BRS document will need the client approval. For this also we need the whatever requirement noted down by our business analyst. Our client side, they will go through that whether the business analyst has noted correctly or not. So BRS document will need a client approval. Why? Because we don't want to do any miscommunication, otherwise we will develop something else. Okay, so this is the reason we are taking approval. There should be a approval from the client side before using it for development. So development team is not getting this BRS document actually. Okay, he will get the SRS document. The business analyst will analyze this BRS. He will convert it into the SRS document. That is the real document. Okay, the fair document, and that will come to our development team for development. Okay, so next stage is the analysis. Only BA is responsible for this one also. So we should know who is responsible for what. So here we saw that information gathering, analysis, BA is responsible. Design means you UI developer are responsible for that. Development means the coding team or the coder are responsible. Testing, testers are responsible. Maintenance team like BPO and KPO, they are responsible for the maintenance, or the support team will be there, either support team. So BA is responsible for information gathering. Okay, then analysis actually. So in analysis stage, what exactly business analyst is doing? He is converting BRS into the SRS. Okay, so in this stage, based on BRS document, BA will prepare one more document, that is SRS, system requirement specification. So it is also another name for this is also known as FRS. So interviewer can ask you about FRS. So FRS is nothing but the SRS only. Okay. So functional requirement. What kind of function we are going to create into the software, that is called as functional requirement specification, or commonly we are saying as a system requirement specification. Then next point, what the SRS document contains the detailed specification of the project. Okay, here in BRS document we are just taking the overview of the project, but in SRS document everything is in detail. Okay, so SRS documents contain detailed specification, or we can say that a functional functional requirement specification, right? So detail detail specification or the functional. Okay, uske baad after that what we are doing in the analysis part, till now we have means business analyst has converted the BRS into the SRS, and okay, and this SRS document is the bridge between the client and the development and the testing team. This is the main document actually. One second. So SRS document is the main bridge between whom? Client and development. And actually we also need that as a tester. We should also know that what is the requirement from the client. If there is any variation between the expected result, that means expected means the requirement, and the actual result, actual means what has been developed. So obviously it is a bug. Okay, so as a testing team also we need that development and testing team. So it is the breach. Okay, so if you are not available in the team meeting or the business analyst whenever he is taking the meeting for giving the requirement or explaining the requirement, if you are not available that time, then this is the main document. You can go through this document and you can understand that what was the requirement given by the client. Okay, so under SRS also what exactly are there? SRS document content, what will be there under SRS document? In short, we'll see what will be there under SRS. Okay, so there will be functional requirement, functional requirements are there. Then the functional flow diagram, snapshot or the screenshot. So see, functional requirement means what functions should be there into the software. Okay, so if here if we are talking about the first page, what will be the function should be there onto the first page? So they are nothing called as a functional requirement. Sign in button should be there and these steps are there. Okay, client miss customer should scroll down and see the some more options for recharge and the pay bills. So these are every for one thing is the one function. Okay, so these are nothing but the functional requirement. It will mention into the SRS document. Then functional flow diagram means from which page to which page it should go. For example, if someone click on the recharge prepaid mobile, then it should go on the recharge or pay mobile bill page. Okay, so this is nothing but the functional flow diagram. Okay, so the diagram will be there. Then we can select a particular provider Airtel, and then we can select a plan. So these are nothing but the flow from which stage step to which step it should go. Okay, so in SRS document functional flow diagram is also there. Okay, so under the analysis, while converting the BRS into the SRS, in SRS he is writing everything in the detail, all the requirement. He will uh, create the functional flow diagram. He will uh, create the snapshots. So business analyst is using some tools or the application to develop this screen. However, designing team can understand, okay, by reading only the document they cannot imagine that how it should look like. So that is the reason our business analyst will design this screen by using some tools, and actual design is created by our UI developer. So those are called as a snapshot, which is created by our business analyst, and it is the part of SRS document. Okay, so next thing what we saw, designing. Okay, so in designing also there are two types of design. One is the high level design and another is the low level design. Okay, so whatever is the architecture created for the software, that is called as high level design. Okay, and actual UI developed by our means the front end developed by our UI developer, that is called as low level design. So under design there are two types of design. So we saw information gathering, analysis, and the third phase is the design. One second. So in design, there are two types of design. That is the one is the high level design, HLD, and second one is the low level design. So in high level design, we are just creating the architecture of the project, and the low level design, actual our designers are designing the UI. Okay, and in high level design, it consists of the creating the main module. Like this is the home page. Okay, so in high level design, we'll create what should be there on the front page. Okay, till now we have not discussed what should be there inside for the bill payment and recharge. So in high level design, we'll just create the architecture and the main module. We are discussing about or writing about the main module, what main module should be there at high level design. Okay, but the functionality, how it will work and all, we have not it is not there in the high level design. Okay, so whenever our designing team or the UI team, they are developing the design, like here once we click on the payments and once we go on to the online payment. Okay, so the next page should be there. It should be created by or designed by our uh, designing team. Okay, so each and every sub module is called as low level design. Okay, so if you are talking about the main module designing, that is called as high level designing. And if uh, we are talking about the low level design, that means under every main module, if there are any sub modules, they are called as a low level module. Sorry, low level designing. So these are the two types of designing under design. Okay, so UI developer is responsible for both. Okay, so where it is, I'll write in detail here for high level designing and the low level design. We'll go for the next, that is the development. So next stage is the development. We have to complete it today. One second. So in development, what we are doing, front end developer, they are developing the UI, and the back end developer, they are writing the codes so that the functionality will work. Okay, so in development, first one is the front end developer. Front end developer, they are designing the UI. Designing the UI. UI means nothing but the front end. Okay, and then back end developer, next one is the back end developer. So database team is also considered as a backend developer only. So if there is any database available or required, then the uh, database administrator is there, and they are also called as a backend developer. Okay, so there are only two developer under the development, that is the backend developer and the front end developer. So first of all, front end developer will come and then backend developer will come. Okay, so front end development means we are designing the UI. Okay, and whatever the functionality we received according to the screenshot, our development team is developing and designing the screens, and then backend developer, they will work together. Okay, the coding team, actual who is writing the codes for every function, and the database, if there is any need of database, then database team is also working together with the development the coding team. Okay, so if someone in the develop under development will tell these 2 points. Okay, So till now we covered information gathering. So under information gathering, uh, our business analyst is taking the overview or the requirement from the client, and he is creating the rough document that is called as BRS document. Then next one is the analysis. Our business analyst is responsible for the analysis. He is converting this BRS document into the SRS document. He will convert into the fair document. So SRS document contain three things, that is the functional requirement, what functions should be there, he will write that. The functional flow diagram he will design, or he will um, enter means functional flow diagrams are there, how it will work. Okay, then the screenshot or the snapshot should be there. So he will use the iRise software. There are many tools, so I'll mention here what kind of tools he will use for the snapshots. Okay, then next phase is the designing. So there are two types of designing, high level design and the low level design. Whenever we are talking about the main module designing, that is called as high level design. And if we are talking about the sub modules of the main module, then it is called as low level design. So the front end developer are responsible for high level design and the low level design. Next one is the development phase. So at development phase, front end developer and the back end developers are present. Okay, and next stage is the testing. So there are two types of tester available at testing team, and there are total three types of testing actually. Okay, so types of testing. One is the white box testing. So white box testing is specially done by the developer only. While writing the code, if they got the error, so obviously at that time only they are fixing that error. Okay, so that is called as unit testing. Unit testing is involved into the white box testing. If someone asks you who is doing the white box testing, so coder is responsible for the white box testing. You are not responsible for the white box testing. Okay, so black box testing, actual tester who is responsible, they are responsible for the so that means we are responsible for the black box testing. In under the black box testing, we will test everything. Okay, and then third one is the gray box testing. So who are gray box tester? Okay, they are not only testing, but if they found any issue or the bug, they are not forwarding that to our coding team. They are only fixing that. So who are gray box tester, they are having coding knowledge also. Like we are consider under the black box testing. So whenever we are getting any bug, we are forwarding that to our coding team to fix it. And once it is fixed by our coding team, we are retesting that. But gray box tester, very few times we will see the gray box tester is there. Okay, so his background should be from the coding team. He should be able to fix the bug. Okay, he can change anything into the coding if required. Okay, so it is called as gray box testing. Okay, so everyone understood? Yes, guys. Any question?
No.
Right now, no questions, sir.
Okay, and last stage under the SDLC, it is important. That is the reason I have not split it into 2 days. Okay, but everywhere you will face this question. So last one is the maintenance. So maintenance, as we already discussed, what will come into the maintenance? That is the BPO and KPO. So if required, then only we are providing the maintenance. I think I already mentioned somewhere. I'll pick this. Okay, so this is about the SDLC. So where okay, so if someone asks you about the SDLC, you have to explain these 4 points. Sorry, one second. These 6 points: information gathering, and also you should know who is responsible for information gathering. That is the business analyst only. After that, in information gathering, what happened? They are the he is taking the requirement or miss overview from the client side. He will create the BRS document. Okay, and also it should be approved by our client side. On the basis of the BRS document only, in analysis phase, our business analyst will convert that into the SRS document. So under SRS document, it is in very detail. Okay, this is the main source for our development team and the testing team for development and testing. Okay, so under SRS document, he will write the functional requirement, what function we have to create according to the requirement, what will be the functional flow diagram, is how the function will move from one page to another page or one function to another function. Then he will create some snapshot for every screen. So he will create the screenshot, and according to that, our designing team will design the screens. So next phase is the designing team. So they are creating high level designing and the low level design. So whenever our designing team are creating the main module, it is called as high level design, and whenever they are going inside and creating the low means sub modules, so it is called as low level design. Okay, so next one is the development. So under development team, there are two types of there are two development team. One is the front end developer, and then the back end developer include the coding team and the database administrator who are creating the database. Okay, database architectures. Okay, then the testing team will come. There are three types of testing: white box testing, coder is responsible. Okay, then actual tester, and here also tester, but he is having coding knowledge. Okay, so under testing, these are the three types of testing, and we'll see in detail about the testing. Okay, maintenance. In maintenance phase, whenever required, according to the requirement only, we are providing the maintenance, and that will be provided by the support team, either BPO or the KPO. BPO team will handle only the non-technical issues, and they will support for only the non-technical issues, and KPO will support for the technical issues. So this is about the SDLC.